Sports Conclave, and it's going to be a long day, but a fun event which will take us through all the stories and insights from the sporting world, from the personal lives, what happens and what it takes to be a champion. And it's a huge privilege for me to be able to call all the names, all the heroes actually, from the Indian team. So I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Shubhayan Chakravarti. I am a sports journalist, have been working in this industry for the last 6-7 years. Recently I was in South Africa to cover the Women's T20 World Cup, and during one off day I just wrote a poem which I would like to recite in front of you all before we proceed with the event. So here it goes. With strength and grace they take the field, their passion and power never yield. They strive for greatness every day and inspire us in every way. Women in sport, they lead the way, their talent and drive on full display. They show us what is possible and push us to be unstoppable. From tennis courts to soccer fields, their skill and courage never yields. They break through barriers with ease and make us believe in our own abilities. With every game and every win, they show us what it means to begin. To dream big and to never give up, to reach for the stars and never stop. So here's for the women in sports who inspires us with their hearts and fort. They remind us to aim high and strive and to never give up on our dreams alive. Thank you so much. And on this note, I would like to welcome Dr. Boria Majumdar, the main man behind this event who has made this possible. Boria, over to you.
Good morning. You know, it sort of seems surreal that 2 months back in Kolkata, I was actually going to my passport office appointment to get my passport renewed. And I was not carrying my mark sheet. As a result, they made me wait for 2 hours because you now have to have your original mark sheet to get the passport done. While sitting there, I started making calls. The first one was to Abhinav, the second one was to Gopi, the third one was to Deepaji, and it continued. It continued, and then I called the ITC hotels and said, can we do a physical conclave like this? Because India needs a physical conclave. Can we do India's biggest sports conclave in terms of Olympic sports? And interestingly, all of my friends, all of the athletes, all of our stars, all of them agreed. And it was starting to seem a little surreal to me that I'm starting to talk to athletes, but how do I get support? And my next call was to my friend Chanakya Chaudhary, will you support this conclave? And he's like, sounds interesting, but do you think you can get all of them? Sarvesh too. And then I started making calls to all my corporate partners, Kaustubh from Coca-Cola, Chanakya, obviously Chanakya and Sarvesh. And then it started, everything started falling in place. Vishy and Sanjeev from BSV, all my friends from Aegis Federal, you see the logos here. And then Adil and I had this opportunity to meet in Mumbai, and I said, can you also get Neeraj to join in, because Abhinav has very kindly consented. Then we can get the 2 gold medalists together. Then I said, okay, let's try and get more ambitious. Let's try and get Deepaji and Devendra Jhajaria together. Then I started getting more ambitious. I said, okay, International Women's Day. Can we get, women's empowerment as our central theme and inclusivity and sensitivity as our central theme? And it started falling in place. Everything started falling in place. But you know what? I'll do something strange now. What I will do is, and this is because something deep in me says this has to be done. For the longest time, and I'm an International Women's Day boy, in the sense my birthday is on the 8th of March, and each time I see an International Women's Day function, I see women on stage. I see women celebrating International Women's Day. When I see women's sport getting covered, मान लीजिए भारतीय क्रिकेट ही आप देख लो, जब women's World Cup चलता है तो हम देखते हैं women journalists women's cricket cover करते हैं, men नहीं. And it's very strange. Anything to do with women, it is as if women will have to lead the charge for empowerment. I think that's wrong. I think men should lead the way, because unless and until both sexes come together to break this gender divide down, there will never be complete empowerment. There will never be inclusivity. And here, I need to bring in Paralympic sport. 15% of the world are people with disability. Unfortunately, in our country, we still don't celebrate disability enough. This ramp is a proof. How many places have you seen a ramp? You're expected, that the para-athletes will walk up. Nonsense. So the idea behind this conclave is very simple. The idea behind this conclave is to get all stakeholders together. Men, of course, women who are at the center of it, athletes who are the stars of this conclave, they're at the centerpiece, corporates who have been fundamental, people like Chanakya, Sarvesh, all of our partners, Kaustubh, Sanjeev, Vishy, my friends from AGS Federal who couldn't make it this morning, because corporate India needs to support initiatives like this. My friend Srinjoy Bose, look at the Pratidin newspaper. Look at the kind of advertisements we've been able to do for this particular conclave. All over the city we've got hoardings. You need to build sport up, ladies and gentlemen. You need to celebrate your athletes more and not just cricket. You need to celebrate. Who has said it's only about men's cricket in India? If we have said so, we need to break it down. Last year, I was in Dubai for the Asia Cup, and Virat Kohli scored his 71st 100 in an inconsequential game. There were about 35 Indian journalists covering that particular test match, that ODI or T20, whatever it was. That same night, Neeraj Chopra was winning the Diamond League for the first time as an Indian athlete in Lausanne. Not a single Indian journalist was there to cover. Who has set this up? That you will cover cricket, but you will not cover any other sport. 2 weeks later, Vinesh Fogart, who's here, who will come down in a bit, she was winning the World Wrestling bronze medal. How many Indian journalists in Serbia? Not one. 2 weeks later, Satvik and Chirag in Tokyo, winning the first ever Badminton World Championship medal. How many Indian journalists? Not one. We, the media, have built this ecosystem that cricket gets this kind of coverage and Olympic sport not. Only when Sakshi wins, Abhinav wins an Olympic gold medal, it's an 8-column banner headline. But as he says, an Olympic Games doesn't come every 4 years, it comes every day. And it's for the media as well. Time to start the change by calling on stage, strangely, for a women's empowerment conclave, a lot of men, because we need to make ourselves responsible for this anomaly, for this problem, and of course, start the redemption from this platform. May I please call on stage all stakeholders who've made this possible and who start the celebration. Chanakya Chaudhary, may I please call you on stage. Put your hands together for Chanakya Chaudhary, Vice President and one of the senior people from Tata Steel, somebody behind this conclave. Kaustubh Jha from Coca-Cola, Sarvesh Kumar from Tata Steel, Sanjeev Navalgund from Bharat Serum and Vaccines, Vishwanath Swarup from Bharat Serum and Vaccines, Srinjoy Bose from Sangbad Pratidin, Sarvesh Kumar, I think you're here, and 3 of our athletes. After Deepaji comes up, I'll need one more chair. 3 of our athletes from the 3 stakeholders. My own hero and a hero to everybody in this country, somebody who's sort of made us realize that sport is not simply about winning, Abhinav Bindra. Please, can we have Abhinav on stage? Someone who has made us proud in Tokyo, someone who has made us proud every time she's gone on stage. I still can't believe she lifts 200 plus kilos, Mirabat Chanu. Mira, can we have you on stage? And of course, from the Paralympic side of things, the president of the Paralympic Committee of India, India's first ever medalist at the Rio Games, Deepa Malik. And then we will get, after Deepaji comes, we'll need one more chair. And then I'll ask Chanakya to say a few words, start the proceedings before we light the lamp with Abhinav, Deepaji, and Meera. And all of us will pose for a photo op. It's fine. I can do it. I can do it. Please. Chanakya. The stage is yours for you to set it. Start the proceedings before we pose for the photo op and the lighting of the lamp.
Morning. Thanks, Boria, for some lovely introductions that you gave just now in the morning. Yes, it's a fact that when Boria spoke to me, which was, I think, about a few months back, we were doing some events of literary nature in Kolkata, and the run. Actually, he spoke to me in December when we were doing the Calcutta run. And he said, I'm going to send you a message, but we need to do something very different. I said, fine. And then I'm sure in this hall, all of you know the persistence which Boria brings in, and the enthusiasm and the motivation he brings in when he speaks on any subject which is connected to sports. And it was actually, according to our standards, I think we responded very fast. I'm not sure if Boria felt that way. Where is he? Oh, he felt that way. I think he thought we were not being agile enough. But sports and Tata Steel actually go hand in hand. And sports has never been seen as sports in Tata Steel. It's the best way of engaging, the best way of creating fitness in the community. It's the best way of doing teamwork, collaboration. So if you look at what we do in the management of any organization, and especially Tata Steel, it's all what you all have achieved and are achieving and bringing laurels in the field of sports. Our relationship with sports formally is very, very old, and I'm sure all of you are aware, but I'll still repeat, 1920, our first chairman of Tata Steel, Dorabji Tata, and his connect with the Indian Olympics, personally promoting a few athletes, and then formally under the association sending out a team in 1927, and so on and so forth. And it just started there, it's not ended in there. We just carry on that legacy. It comes very easy for us. I remember when I joined about 35 years back, Tata Steel, we heard this slogan saying, sports is a way of life. And I'm a mechanical engineer, but in my interview, final interview, which I came in for as a graduate engineer trainee, most of the questions were on sports, as to which sports do you play? Why do you play this sport? What can you do to promote this sport within your batch, and so on and so forth. And I was very amused as to why a company taking metallurgists and mechanical and mining engineers is looking at sports in the final interview. And now, after so many years in this journey, sports is something which comes in corporate services where I am. And I'm very proud to say that slowly but surely we have moved forward in the arena of sports, with whether it is academies. We today have 5 academies. We are looking at 1 or 2 more to be added. Residential academies, football, hockey, athletics, archery, and the sport climbing, which is very new in Olympic sport now. And athletics we're going to redo a lot of things, and Adil has been giving us some advice on it for the last couple of years. And more than the academies, I think we run a lot of training centers, sports training centers, about 19-20 of them. And it's a huge build-up of and our employee strength is not very high in Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur is a million-plus population city now. Plus our raw material spaces across Jharkhand, Orissa, and our other plants in Orissa. It just binds us together, whether it is runs, whether it is any of the cricket tournaments, or the runs that we do now, or the latest edition of chess. And I'm very happy to say, especially because we are here to celebrate women, that in the chess tournament that we started a few years back, we started the women's edition last year. And with equal prize money, we didn't realize that we were possibly the first in India to have an equal prize money tournament for women and men. Rather, when we introspected, we thought, why did we not think of this earlier? So, like Shah Rukh Khan said in this movie, कुछ कुछ होता है कि आदमी का सिर सिर्फ 3 या 2 के आगे झुकना चाहिए. And I think all were women, right? So, frankly, in Tata Steel, in my personal life, I can tell you I've got 2 daughters, and women make men. And I'm actually meaning it, because we see in our own company now that we are running with the target of 25% gender diversity targets by 2025. And currently our women recruitment is approximately 40% women year on year, so that we reach that target. And the kind of women work that we see in our mining, we have all women shifts. In our plant, hardcore steel making processes, they give better productivity. This experiment of ours in the company started in the late 90s, I say, something called Tejaswini, where women from, the local community were trained, reskilled, and asked to drive the heavy earth-moving equipment. And they did so well that the President of India had actually invited them to see what these ladies have, who were not even known to the outside world. They were like housewives and daughters and sisters. And they did so exceedingly well. Similarly, I think we've moved on the transgenders. Today we employ close to about 200, 300 transgenders, and they're bringing so much of laurels and respect for themselves and the company. It's amazing. Like when Boria spoke to me with regard to Paralympics and I don't know, he called it specially abled and disabled. I don't think it is disabled, because my grandmother used to tell us that when God takes one of the senses out of the 5 senses, he gives you one additional sense which you have to see what you have. And frankly, we have been supporting in our own way some of the Paralympic sports persons, and when you encourage and talk to them, then you realize the potential they have. We are also a part of the Special Olympic Bharat Jharkhand, and over there as well we see the kind of sports persons and the kind of potential, and I'm happy that as a company we are able to support, and we will continue to support. And I think coming year we have the summer games which are also coming up big, and one of our ex-colleagues, Satish Pillai, I think he's also been pushing us, saying that be a part of this whole thing. So I don't want to go on and on, because I know somewhere all of you are waiting for the next part. And I can only say that it's a pride for Tata Steel and me personally to join hands for this event. Not only this, there are going to be 2-3 events through this year and next year with Boria and his wife, Sharmishta. I hope you're not nervous now, so it's all okay. And hope to bring women to the center stage and where they really belong. All of you have really done well and brought so much of pride and respect, and people looking at India and the women of India. And I think all of us together can make India go to the next level. So thank you very much once again for inviting me today. And I hope not only during this event, which Boria has put together, but all times to come, we can continue to work together, hand in hand, to make India proud. Thank you so much.
Now, may I please just call all our athletes on stage for the lighting of the lamp with my dignitaries and a photo up here, and I'm going to get going. Rani Rampal, Vandana Kataria, all of you. Because the light is on my face. Anju Bobby George, Manu Bhakar, Mehuli Ghosh, Otanu Das, Vijay sir, please can we have all of you on stage? And then Abhinav and Deepaji and Meera, please can we come forward for the lighting of the lamp? Chanakya, you have to accompany them. Can we have all our athletes and our photographer friends, can you please take this photo up? Somebody from the, finally. I can see Gopi because I called him and said, where on earth are you? So somebody needs to give Deepaji, Meera and Abhinav the candle to Jalidin for the lighting of the lamp. Chanakya needs to be there, and there we go. And then we'll get on with our first session. Sir, pass me jaiye, because this photograph is important for tomorrow's papers also. मीरा आप दीपा जी और अभिनव तीनों Fantastic. And as they do it, please take the number of photos you want. Chanakya, you and Deepaji. And then the two others, that's it. And then we'll get going with the first session. Fabulous. Thank you. आप लोग एक साथ ठीक है एक साथ होल्ड कर लीजिए And we've got our picture. Julbe, that's fine. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that marks the formal start of the Trailblazers Conclave. Thank you very much to all our athletes. I hope you've got your photos because we are going to get going with the first session straight away. That's Rani doing her bit. And Vandana, if you could step up, and we've got the whole lamp. Lovely. Anju and maybe Manu. We are missing Deepika here. Deepika will come straight from the airport in about what, 1 hour? Yeah. So, and we'll have Neeraj Chopra join us on a link from South Africa. That's it. Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together for all our athletes on stage and our partners for making this conclave possible. Thank you so much. Can we have all of you down in your seats, and I'm going to get going with the first session. হ্যাঁ নামিয়ে দেবে না এখন ছেড়ে দাও এবার এটাকে নামিয়ে দিন done. Can we have the lamp removed from stage, please? And may I call Abhinav, Gopi, Vijay sir and Meera to be on stage as we start the first session. Give us 4 chairs on stage and that's all we need, rather 5.
Volunteers, please arrange a couple of chairs for